200 in V's, you know how we do. Just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls. You duckin' and dodgin', stickin' and moving. Just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls. I'm starting to wait, my nigga get two. Just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls. Don't fuck with them niggas, we keepin' it moving. Just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls, just coolin' the bulls, coolin' the bulls. Look, so this how this how I'm living up here in this, what's the name? Out here in Bakersfield. This how we living out in Bakersfield, man. Oh, you okay?
Something I never kind of checked out here. This is all their shrink and stuff in the day. Or sometimes we'll take this to the winery, and most of the time you just dump it. It's just easier. Any bad berries, anything that's got color, what varieties and stuff. It's these are all great green. It's all great green ranch. Most of this ranch is all organics. So we farmed a lot of it already, and we have some Ottavatines left and some Scarlets left, but we're not packing that right now yet. So. Gotta have that Steelers hat showing too. That goes out and picks down the avenues, and then one person and they drag it back, and then one person on the end that's packing. They pretty much keep that consistent, and they'll sometimes switch off, but you always have one person that's out there cleaning, and they might switch off day to day, or depending on maybe if one person's faster, depending on the fruit, if they can get a lot of it quicker. I mean, Chris can explain it better, but that's what a lot of these groups will do, and they're usually a team that stays together. Yeah. So big team. Correct. They're running each aisle going down, and you kind of work from one ranch, and you kind of see. We use drones to kind of see where foliage is a little less and stuff in areas we need to get. So a lot of different things go into effect. You can kind of come down. They already went down before. Let's see if we can go. We'll go a few. You can see it's
Looking for the brown cane. On the brown cane, that means that the bunch is starting to mature. So once like this, looks like a good bunch, but you probably eat it, it's gonna be there's no sugar in it. So it's a green cane. We leave it behind. The color, you can kind of see it's kind of translucent a little bit. So we leave those behind, try to get the stuff that's got the better color, more mature. That's what's got the sugar.
So when will that turn?
Probably within another week.
So I'll come back through.
Yeah, we'll come back through and pack it again. But I mean, these guys, we haven't touched 20 acres of the block. Right now, it's just gnats right now.
Just gnats.
I mean, you'll have mealybug and everything like that, but we do a pretty good job of keeping it out of the field as is.
Okay. Do you guys have any like natural predators you bring in?
No, we tried ladybugs one year, and
they bring their own issues.
Yeah, well, not just that. We would spray because you still have to spray, and then you kill them. So we wasted money on ladybugs. Right on. It's pretty cool.
Farm market wasn't bad either.
4 to 5 a year. Yep. They come in here. Go see citrus, do a lot of potato, okay. Usually an apple, maybe.
Holy shit.
Here's what they've done. Yeah. Then you can kind of see.
And that's yielding pretty good.
We got trouble with you the other day. What's this?
Mr. Taylor wants to add more people. He thinks we could just go in and just add people to our
That sounds like Craig. Yeah, be worried there for a
You
second.
probably hear rain.
No.
Well, no, when we have grapevines, yeah, but after, yeah.
So what I sent yesterday was just a clear bag in this.
Yeah,
It's starting to finally. This part of the year is starting to
I did it out, so we
go through all 4 of the seasons.
this is our earliest. I mean, we have. Actually, have way of Marvin on this. This is one.
One day
This
it's
is one
hot
that
and
we just
the
have
next day it's
before you get to
bring your jackets
color.
up.
Yeah. I'm Jeff, by the way.
Manual.
Daniel, nice to meet you.
Pam.
It's actually the first time I've
You
seen
can
the box.
imagine you like
Give us some box.
get to know the brand.
Yeah, like
There's
here,
a
yeah.
sale contest for the stores.
You don't see it in the store.
All the grocery stores
Yeah.
have managers, they have produce managers.
It's just a plain box. It's easy. It's easy. It helps you guys. It helps us, correct? It's a generic box. It's a corrugated box. It's easier to recycle. It's better for it's cheaper for us. It's about 5 cents cheaper than a white
for team members and help support
crap box.
Cool.
Got it.
So
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and they're out here, you know. Johnny Eagle good, and Johnny Eagle
it
bad.
doesn't show dirt.
okay. It's like a Phillips surprise.
They like the box to come out.
So you guys operate
like
from,
handprints.
you guys operate
when they're swamping them and they grab like the bottom and they'll touch dirt. And the next box
headquarters.
you can handle all your national accounts
On the
too.
darker boxes.
Doug, are these grapes help, these boxes, they're helping you guys
Yeah,
out
that's what
in the
he's
field,
saying.
right, to identify,
Yes.
so you don't have mispicks and
Yeah. Yep. So there's no opportunity for them to really screw up on shipping. The only way it's screwed up is if it's tagged on, which you can't stop. But at least at shipping point, you can't ship out anything that's with like this label. So it's specific. It's all done by those guns. We got all those guns now.
Okay.
And so it's a lot more late night phone calls, but I'd rather have the phone call instead of a problem on the other end.
yeah.
Or me putting in red grapes instead of green grapes. That happens. That error happens. Well, when you go from like a great green and I'll hit A and the first one that pops up is like Allison. So I'll just put it to Allison, I'll just be like AU, and if I don't hit it in time, it just goes to A. And that's what I did. Yeah. So I screwed up. I'll bring them in as Autumn Kings and they come in and I'll move them to great green. Yeah, it's pretty. You pretty much apply everything the same. There's, maybe a weak spot here and there, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same.
Now we can fish it over.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
The one grape we need, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Cleveland, but I gotta look.
Same thing they did a month ago, for them to ship their own variety.
We thought it'd be earlier, but this year's heat has pushed it back. So you probably have it until Thanksgiving.
And you can kind of see it on some of the weaker vines. You can just kind of see how the heat kind of smoked it a little bit. It was a crazy heat wave. But most of it's unaffected. ¿Cuándo tienes piscando tu soga?
De este mes o de esto,
No, de Estados Unidos. Aquí para Canada.
23 años.
23 years. He's been speaking grapes for 23 years.
Are you okay?
Really good grape that we can kind of take a lot of these characteristics into the red, and then some of these new things, and then eventually get it rot. We need a little bit of finish on them. It's going to work for the fruit, but this is all trenched out 6 feet down, and there's a tarp, and then they have it. It's all tied up. It's an automatic deal, and you got little probes in there, and it tells when to water. Because right now we turn it off and on the water based on when we see we need it. This is next. We're trying to see if it works, to see like without even the fruit, just to see how it survives on the plant. So, and the fruit does not look very good. So don't judge the fruit. We're just trying to see if it physically works. But there's a tarp in there And what we found is it saves 40% of water. Now, we're doing this on 3 acres. We have 12,000. Don't get me wrong, this is not something that we're out doing yet because you have to physically start fresh. When you do this, you have to have an open field. So you can't just graft on something and do this. It has to be a fresh plant. So you got to go in and trench it 6 feet down, and what they did, they put this tarp in. We kind of got this idea from some of the guys in Mexico where they do it actually on top of the like dirt, and they put a little mound and they save a 30% water deal. And so we tried it and we're finding that it saves about 40%. Is it beneficial yet? We don't, that's still up for debate, but it's just something we're trying new, where he's going to try and use less water, and it's all done by an app, and so he can watch the water on different spots of this 3 acre block and kind of test the water. Now we have pristines right across right here. Not really the same kind of stuff, but it's just seeing if it works. Yeah. And it's all done by an app, and it shows the moisture content in the water, and you can control it and say like, hey, it needs to be, I see heat coming for the next couple days. We can up it to water 12 hours a day instead of 10. So. Obviously your south facing is not done, but the north is.
You guys just want to do a quick introduction?
I was just going to say,
names, that's all.
yeah, sure. So I'm Sean, I'm a sales representative. So the vine covering would come over it that way, and it would make like a little oven. I mean, and it was not good for the grapes. So with this trellis system now, the air can flow out and you don't get as much moisture and heat up underneath, so it's much better for the grapes. So that's one of the things that we've kind of changed over the last few years. You're welcome to walk in if you guys want, or if you're tired of.
This into not this specific ranch, but all of our blocks. We'll go all the way into November, and then this will be our storage grade.
Yeah, you guys got lucky.
We wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
We'd be.
Exactly. Depending on how many acres you're farming, you're allotted so much water. You can pull it up. There's canal water. There's like a federal system, a California state system, and then there's groundwater. And then so we have wells that are drilled down to pull groundwater out. So California's passed a law where you have to replenish any groundwater you take out, and also depends on how much acreage you have. So the owner, who will be 80 this year, Mark, I don't know if he'll be around today or tonight, but his sons will be. He's been buying land for 40-something years, so we have a head start, kind of against everyone else as far as the acreage we have, and the water will be allotted compared to a lot of other companies that if they're farming every single acre that they own, they're going to probably have a hard time getting enough water at times. So we've been in a drought for a few years. And unfortunately the state of California is not real big on building new dams or any type of water projects, so that's an uphill battle for us as an industry. So we'll see, but hopefully we'll have a really wet winter and lots of snow in Tahoe, so that will help us all. So we'll see, but if we want to head down, we can go down and see some green grapes real quick. Yep. If you have a premium pack, then you might have like a #1 grade and then a second grade, because that way we keep integrity of the pack. So these may be going, I handle the red grapes, so I'm not sure what they're doing on the green. So this normally is going to be for, so this is for export.
Oh, wow.
So we do a Sweet Bella, is a brand that we come up with Stella Bella, Sweet Bella, Sorella Bella. So this is for export. That's why they're putting this in foam. So the Sweet Bella brand. Yeah.
So what's the difference between that and the Stella Bella?
Well, this is just a brand name, Sweet
okay.
Bella.
You're just branding it.
Yes, they're branding it. So this is a great green variety. But the Stella Bella, that's the actual variety. So we've also we do a crown. Is another branded bag that we do. So we'll put ivory in there for export. So it just differentiates it a little bit.
Okay. Where do you export the most to?
Oh, good question. So Mark, the owner, was actually the one that opened the Australia-New Zealand market years ago, and so we still have a heavy presence there. But I would say behind them is Asia. But with the dynamics, so you may know this, may not. China now is the largest grape grower in the world, which a lot of people don't understand how much they produce. So they've kind of taken over a lot of markets for export, so it's taken away a lot of business from California. So red globes used to be a huge variety here, went to Asia, South America, Southeast Asia. Well, China's taken that all away. Peru, with their red globe program, has taken away the South American market, so that's why you saw the red globe kind of not go away completely, but there's a lot less acreage of red globes now. And seedless varieties have taken over. So seeded varieties aren't as popular as they once were. So I would say Asia and then Australia probably.
Like styrofoam out there?
What's that?
They like styrofoam out there? Yeah. You ever get slacked out with styrofoam?
Certain markets like Chile, they won't take it, but most export markets, it's either white plastic going to Australia, New Zealand. We're working on a product to intimidated, so it can't really put it in cardboard. Cardboard doesn't travel, so we use foam or white plastic for those. Some markets are trying to get away from it. Domestically, we don't use it anymore as much as we used to. It's still by far the best thing for storing animal but we understand it's hard to recycle. Not sustainable. Here's the slide. Are we in your way? You guys coming here?
Crazy haunted house.
There's better reasoning why it's all cleaned up over here on the red and the green. The green's different.
Outer part of, usually the last couple rows are the first 2 or 3 rows, and out towards the end always look the worst, just because they take the brunt of any wind or anything, anything else, traffic, dust, whatever. So they usually look, a little bit rougher than some other spots. So through here, probably most of this won't get picked. If it does, very small. But I don't want to get anybody's way.
How you doing?
But with this variety, actually, when they start getting ripe, as you get into the field, you can actually smell kind of the carnival, cotton candy flavor that it has. So it's kind of neat to go into and smell it.
Hello, how are you?
You really know when they're getting ripe. Built that with existing employees, both cold storages, the electrical, poured concrete, tilted the walls, did it all. So we have a winery which is over there, and then as in the corner we also have some bottling plants. We have 2 wineries. Here is the bulk wine. So we do for Trader Joe's like a $5 organic bottle of Chardonnay. We do box wine, so it's all volume. Then we have the youngest son runs a winery up in Napa for the family, so he's a lucky one. And then the oldest son runs cold storage and ranches we visited. He farms those. The middle son Andrew is coming this way. He's in charge of R&D and winery. So rootstock. We do rootstock for table grapes and then for wine grapes as well. The company used to buy all of their rootstock from other companies and decided we're just going to bring it in-house. So we do all of our own, plus we do sell to other growers, wine growers. So that's what you'll see here is they'll take these out. And so some of this will be the experimental varieties that they'll talk about in there that will eventually go out to commercial production. We'll go through thousands, tens of thousands of iterations before we find one grape that we can actually use.
Wow.
The time span is usually about 10 years to develop one variety. It's extremely long and expensive process.
It's interesting to know that here, this is one area where we sell to other growers in the industry. So when you're looking at grapes that are packed in some new label, it is we handle it from conception all the way through. We don't have any outside growers that grow for us. We farm all our own land. Everything we grow, we pack in our labels. So we have complete control of the process. Nursery business, we do grow the rootstock for. It could be a Sun World. It could be different people that we're growing for in the nursery. But that would be the only segment of the business that really, for the most part, that we would touch any outside people.
So we can head inside to the R&D center and get out of here.
This like hanging the wind, so the wind will blow them, and that's how they
move around.
Yeah, that's how they move around to greener,
Spider mites.
And those are the mites?
Those are the mites, yeah.
To do is, if you see, this is a little high color, but you want a little bit of cream, because if you try the fruit that's green, it tastes terrible. There needs to be a little bit of a contrast between the color of the berries and the stem. If you got cream fruit, you try eat all of this, but the fruit that's more creamy, it has all the flavors start to come up. One, the brixes are coming up, and also the sugars are converting. You're getting more of sweeter fructose, not sucrose. And so when we pick this, we have to selectively harvest. We pick these about 3 or 4 times, and we're looking for fruit that's finishing early. Because most vines, like evolution, not all their fruit ripens at the same time. You know, think if your vine wants to produce its seeds and propagate, well, it wouldn't have all of its seeds come at one time, all of its maturity. And so they ripen over a 3-4 week period, and we try to pick them over a 3-4 week period. But this Autumn Chris is a real special Sunworld variety. It has a hint of muscat flavor. And what we're really excited is Sunworld, when they find a good grape like this, they start breeding it with all other grapes. And when you start getting more grapes with this characteristic, and this has been a real game changer for us. It has a late season crunch and flavor that Autumn King does not have. So really,
Talk about organics while you're here.
oh, you can see all the weeds here? Yeah, that means it's organic. And the big thing we have to fight organic is one, powdery mildew is a really tough pathogen for us, but we have no synthetic products that we use. Are all under the OMRI, Organic Material Registry Institute protocol, and it's a little more difficult farming organic, not only in actual farming it, but spacing out, that you have continuity, that you have this grape, you start it and you can keep going. You can have whites for 20 weeks straight, and you can have reds to go with it, and you have blacks to go with it, and planning that. And you're working with our sales, they tell us what we want, what they want, and we try to make it happen. But having multiple fields in different areas, it's a real challenge, but it's fun. It is more difficult though. The synthetic products are really helpful, but this field is certified organic. It's been certified for, I think, 3 or 4 years. We planted this in 2017, and then we planted it in 15. It's been certified since 18. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Nathan, you got a lot of fruit with cured cane. Can you explain cured cane?
So we'll go inside. I just want you to see it first. This cane here, how it's turning brown. Cured, the real word is lignified. It's lignin. The ligninase is coming out, and so it's hardened. And first, this fruit is the stuff that matures more quickly. When you see brown cane, lignified, cured cane, that means there's maturity. The fruit that is not,
so that's a harvest indicator.
Yeah, it's just a real maturity sign, and so that's what you look for first. But when you have weak stems, this one here's a little weaker. This may have color, but it won't have as much sugar. It's softer. If you guys want to come try it, I'll get out of your way here. But I really want you guys to try the creamy fruit.
That didn't go in Nathan's basket on him. These things are crazy.
We had